Yes, now it's
Yes,
okay.
fantastic.
So गुड इवनिंग एंड बहुत ही एक्साइटेड हूँ, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है। 2 वीक्स मिस किया है और ऐसा लग रहा है कि कितने दिन हो गए लियो से बात करके। So without wasting any time, I am inviting our mentor, Leo and Tiffany Jesudian.
Namaskar, namaskar. I've got very exciting news. In 5 weeks, we are going to vacate our house. So we have to get out of here. And, to some people, that will be a very traumatic experience, as in, we've spent a lot of time here, and the house belonged to Tiffany's parents, and then it belonged to her grandparents, and we bought it after her father died from her mother. And it was a very funny story. I grew up mentally in New York City, even though I grew up in India. As a professional, I grew up in New York City, so I talk like a New York City guy. And a lot of people misunderstand the way I speak because I'm very direct, and I use certain words that are typical for New Yorkers to use. So I asked my mother-in-law, who was a widow, a brand new widow. There were 22 children from the same grandfather that had the ability to say, we want to buy the house. And 22 children said no. They did not want to buy the house. Tiffany has 22 cousins. And all of them, they did not want to buy the house because it's too big, it's too much money, it requires too much money to fix it, and blah, blah, blah. So they didn't even respond. The polite thing to do when you're asked, would you want to buy the house, is say, no, thank you. But they didn't even respond to the request of whether they wanted to buy the house. Nobody was trying to push them to buy the house. So finally, I told Tiff, I said, we have to buy the house. So she says, I don't want to live there. So I said, hey, that's your grandfather's house. From the time you can remember, you have gone to that house. And then when you were 8 years old, your father bought the house from his brothers, and sisters. They all owned a piece of the house. So he paid everybody and he took the house. So I said, your father bought the house, and now, nobody wants the house. Your mother's going to sell it to a stranger. Come on. So it took me 1.5 years. You see, I want to explain these things to you. Once you decide to do something, it might take time. Even with your wife or your husband or your children, they don't want to listen. And you don't give up. Now, I didn't want the house. I'll tell you why I didn't want the house. I like modern houses. And this is a very classic Victorian house. It's very good looking. It's very upscale. That means it's very classy, but it's not my style. It's like if you like a Mercedes Benz and somebody else like a Jaguar. Okay? There's nothing wrong with a Mercedes Benz. There's nothing wrong with a Jaguar, but it's a personal choice. So I like modern houses with a lot of glass and very sexy. This is a very classy, it's like old, beautiful, high ceilings, beautiful paneling. It's a very classy house. So I told Tiffany, I said, yeah. She says, no, you don't understand. I don't want the house. So it took me 1.5 years to convince her to buy a house I did not want. Because I was thinking I was doing something for my wife. You see, men, husbands, be careful. Sometimes you have good intentions and they're not good because your wife does not want it. And you're like trying to do something for her. And you are feeling like, yeah, I'm a man. I'm doing something for my wife. And really, you're not. You think you are. So I convinced her. We bought the house in 2002. That's 19 years ago. And we fixed the house. And it took 12 years to fix. Why? I'll tell you why. First of all, we don't borrow money from the bank. That is like a training that I received from the Amway business. Usually my businesses, I was borrowing money from the bank and I was paying the interest and everything and paying off the loan, but I would borrow millions from the bank to do business. And so I was not negative about borrowing money from the bank. I joined the Amway business. They said, no debt, no debt, no debt, no debt. So I said, wow, I've been living incorrectly. I should also have no debt, because they said you don't understand your life when you don't have any debt. So I said, okay, I want to understand that life. So I got out of debt, and I said, no more, never, because you don't understand. All you people don't understand. When you don't have a car payment or a two-wheeler payment or a mortgage for your house or any credit card debt, if you don't have anything, and when you get a bill, you pay it full, boom. It's a different feeling. You feel like freedom is a different word when you don't owe anybody any money. So, and you're living well. So we lived well. We had no debt. We're not going to borrow money from the bank. So it required a lot of money. In fact, we fixed the house. We could have bought another house. The amount of money we spent to fix the house, we could have bought another house. So we fixed it. And when it was all done, Tiff says to me, when are we selling the house? I said, come on, I fixed the house. She said, I never wanted to live here. Then I started to look inside and found out that I was trying to hang on to her house because I have nothing to hang on to. I come from India. Anything I had was all in India. I never got anything from the family, the grandfather. So I'm trying psychologically, I analyzed myself and I said, I am trying to hang on to what belongs to Tiffany. It's actually not anything real. It's all in my head. So I said, I don't even want to stay in this house. She doesn't want to stay in this house. So let's get rid of the house. So we put the house on the market and now it's sold. So 2 weeks ago, I sent a text to Sharad. I'm not going to be here on Monday, and next Monday too. 2 Mondays, I'm not going to be here because we're going to Florida and we're looking at property and boats and this and that. And then we're going to rent a car and we're going to drive to Georgia, which is the next state. Then we're going to drive to South Carolina, which is the next state coming up north. And then we're going to drive to North Carolina and look at houses and boats and slips. Slips are where you dock the boat. And then we'll take a flight from New Bern, North Carolina, back to Boston. So he said, oh, okay. And so we went and we had a great time. And what's interesting is that the first boat we saw, even though we saw many boats and we drove for 1,000 miles in 5 days, which is 1,600 kilometers in 5 days we drove. We drove a lot. We went to work. We did not go for a vacation, but we had a vacation because the weather was good and we were having good dinner in like fancy places on the water, and it was really good. But we worked. We were serious about our mission. And interestingly enough, we bought the first boat we saw, even though we saw many boats after that. We went back to the first boat we saw. And that is the boat I want to show you, because I don't want to show you to show off. I don't want to show you to show off. I want to show you so you, each and every one of you, man, woman, old, young, doesn't matter. Everyone can have what we have. Because don't forget, I'm from India like you. I grew up in India like you. I grew up with no TV. I watched my first TV show when I was 17 years old. I'm like you. So you cannot say, Leo, that's for you, but I cannot do. No, get rid of that mentality. Whatever I'm going to show you is not to brag. It's to teach you. It's dream building, man. Dream building to the highest level is to teach you, you can have whatever you want. You might not want a boat. Look at, everybody does not want a boat. They want to be on a boat, but they don't want to own a boat. But you might want a better house. You might want a house in Malabar Hills. I don't know what you want. Okay. You might want to fly all over the world. You might want to have a house on the lake in someplace in Goa. I don't know what you want. I don't have a clue, but I know this for sure. You can have whatever you want, because I'm having now, slowly, step by step, I'm having what I want. And I want you to realize I'm just like you. There's no difference. I mean, don't tell me, no, but Leo, you're very, no, don't tell me that, because I am not. I am so much like you. In fact, some of you are smarter than me. So you say, then what's the difference? The difference is I step out. I step out. I'm not in my box. I have a box. Everybody develops a box that they stay in. And it's called your paradigm. Your paradigm is a box, and you live in that box. You think, if I had 1 crore, this is what I'll do. Boom, 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 boom. That's your paradigm. That's your box. And there's nothing wrong with having a paradigm. Everybody develops a paradigm. But don't feel shy. Don't feel uncomfortable. I mean, you'll feel uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable getting out of your box, out of your paradigm. What's your paradigm? The way you think is your paradigm. If you think something can happen, it will happen. If you think something cannot happen, it will never happen. So you have to start thinking outside the box. You've heard that statement, some of you. Think outside the box. What box? Your box, not my box. Everybody has a box. And think outside your box. And if you step out, like I step out, you can have anything. Few things. You have to believe not only in God, in yourself, because God gave you ability. Stop behaving like mere se nahi hoga. That means you're telling God the gift he has given you is no good. Think about what I just said. Mere se nahi hoga is a statement against God, because you're telling God कि जो आपने मुझे दिया है वो कामयाब नहीं है. ये इतना गुण है, ये गलत नहीं है, गुण है. This is not a mistake, it's a sin. To say something stupid like, I cannot do it. You might have to struggle. You might have to work hard. But who says you're not working hard and struggling right now? Doing what you're doing. Everybody is working hard. Everybody is struggling. And you have to struggle all through your life. Even with money, you struggle. Okay? I just struggled with COVID. Before that, I struggled with cancer. You're going to struggle, period. Tomorrow, I'm going to struggle with something. I don't know. The movie is not over yet. What movie? My movie. Your movie. It's not over yet. And you know what? The writer of your movie is you and your God. And you don't even know what the next chapter of your movie is going to be, the next scene. So do me a favor, do yourself a favor, do a favor to God who gave you everything and blessed you, that stop telling yourself you cannot accomplish this, that, or the other. अरे मेरे को गणित नहीं मालूम, अब मालूम. अरे पागल है, सबको मालूम है. तुमको मैंने गलत चेंज दिया तो खट से बोल देगा ये कम है. अब उसको नेक्स्ट लेवल पे लेने के लिए तैयार हो कि नहीं? That's the issue. It's not that you don't know mathematics. You don't want to know mathematics. A lot of people say, I'm very bad in math. Keep saying that, and you are bad in math. No, I'm not good at art. Keep saying that, you're lousy at art. No, I sing really badly. Keep saying that, you'll sing very badly. You say, I can do anything I want to do. And then what do you want to do is the question, follow-up question. What is it that you want to do? So now I'm going to ask Mukund, connect me, take your mic, unmute your mic and talk to me for a second.
Yes.
Have you given me control so I can share my screen?
Yes.
Okay, let's share the screen. अरे कमाल है यार. Can you see the boat?
Yes. Yes, Leo.
That's the boat. I'm going to show you a lot of slides, but I want you to realize something very important. That this boat is not a common boat. I mean, it's a common brand. It's like Cadillac, Mercedes. It's called a Carver. And my last boat was a Carver too. So the brand is very solid American boat builder. They build it in Wisconsin, which is the state of Wisconsin. But it's very difficult to get what's called a hard top. You see the top of the boat is just like the body of the boat. It's completely hard. It's not a canvas top. My previous boat had a canvas top, if you remember, some of you. This has got 3 levels and it's all glassed in. It's not plexiglass. It's all complete glass. And the reason it's got complete glass is because of the hardtop, and it's got 5 air conditioning units that AC and heat the whole boat. Sometimes it gets cold at night, so we have heat everywhere. Whereas if you have a canvas top and plastic, then you cannot heat and air condition the certain parts of the boat. Other parts have a heat and air conditioning, but this is 100% enclosed. Then the back area, the square back area, you can see a window popped out. That is got a window that opens this side and that side, and it's a glass window, but it's got a wire mesh. So the bugs and the flies and the mosquitoes and anything cannot come in. But you can have cross ventilation when you don't want to use the air conditioning. The weather is good and you want fresh air. Similarly, you will see in the front, on the top, the second window has a line in it. That goes up. I mean, that goes down. And then the other side also goes down, and you can have cross ventilation on top. Plus, the whole top of the boat is a sunroof that is 6 feet by 3 feet. And you press a button and it opens right up, so you can have fresh air. And even that has a mesh. So you can open the mesh. If you're moving, no bugs will come because you're moving. But if you're stationary and you're anchored or you're at the dock, this is an anchored picture. And this is the exact boat I bought. This is not just a picture of a boat. This is the boat we bought. This is the actual boat. So it's at anchor. When you're at anchor, you want to keep the screen so the bugs don't fly in. Okay. Now the back portion where the window is open, that's called the cockpit. It is not like the airplane. The actual cockpit in an airplane for the boat is called the helm or the pilot house. And that's the front top. That's called the helm, H-E-L-M. The back is called the cockpit, and that area where that window is open in the back. The second set of glass and the third set of glass, that is called the salon. And salon is these are boating terms for living room. That's the living room. A kitchen is called the galley. A kitchen is not called a kitchen. It's called the galley. And then the bathrooms are not called bathrooms. They are called heads, H-E-A-D-S. So that's the nomenclature. Okay. So you follow when I say in the cockpit, and it's all glass. So all areas you can live in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can sleep in the cockpit, you can sleep in the helm, you can sleep in the salon, and you can sleep. It has 3 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms. That means 2 bathrooms with showers separately enclosed, and it has one bathroom that just has a toilet and a sink. Okay, so you can now see all that fantastic stuff I'm going to show you. This is the boat that was at anchor. This is on the dock. This is a side view from the dock. This is a back view. This is the name of the boat. The previous owner called it Blue Haven, and they're from Tampa, Florida. Obviously, we're going to change the name. And this here on the left, this blue covering, it's a canvas covering, and it's this thing on the left. It's called a tender. What is a tender? A tender is a craft. Some people call it a dinghy. It's actually a tender. A dinghy is a smaller version of a tender. A tender is a motorized vehicle that you drop into the water through a lift. It's right now on its lift, and you don't take this 52-foot boat everywhere. So if you're at anchor and you want to go and buy some, groceries or go into town, you take your tender because it's easy to go from here to there to there to there. So it's another boat, and I'll show you the tender in the last picture. You'll see it. It's really cool, and it's really very nice. I'm glad that I was negotiating the price of the boat. So the guy says, well, we can give it to you at the price. First we are talking about the price, Finally, we came down very close. We were like about $15,000-$20,000 off. So the guy says, I can give you the boat for that price, but I'll take off the tender. I said, no. I said, if you don't put the tender with the boat the way I saw it, I'm not interested. In 45 minutes, he called and said, okay. So we got the tender. I just want you to know. There's the tender. Now you see the high area? That high area is the steering wheel that propels the boat. In front of the steering wheel, 3 people can sit, and then the person who's piloting the tender and 2 people can sit. So about 6 people can sit in this tender. It's open air, but it's also got a bimini top, which is a canvas top. This is the anchor. This anchor is, I think, 300 feet. And what it does is, the last boat we had I was the captain and Tiff was the mate, first mate, you call him, the person who assists. So Tiff had to go to the front of the boat and she would drop the anchor, which is a task. And if I was the mate and she was the captain, I'd have to go and drop the anchor. This is so nice. You press a button, the anchor goes down, man. It's like sweet. And not only that, you can do it from the helm, or you can do it from here. It's got foot switches up and down. So if you press the down switch, the anchor goes down. You press the up switch, the anchor is pulled up. It's very nice. And it's got a hose to wash the anchor because sometimes the anchor gets dirty. They've thought of everything. Here's another picture from the front of the tender. That's the front of the boat from the aft section. Those are the 3 wipers that clean the front glass. And those double horns, by the way, those horns are so amazing that people go, oh, I want that horn. Because when you see 2 horns right in the middle there, those horns, when you blow, it's like so beautiful and loud, and it's a twin sound. So it's not a single sound. It's very good. Maybe I'll record it and play it for you one day. I don't know. This is not the cockpit, the helm. Now you see the front 3 windows have black stuff on them. That's to cover it so that the sun doesn't spoil the leather and the plastic, the sun is so strong, it starts to spoil the leather and the plastic and the glass, and it starts to get old. So you cover it when you're not, using it. So since it was docked and we were checking the boat out, that's the covering. Now here, you don't understand, but the left-hand screen is what's called the radar, the chart plotter, which is nautical term for GPS, and then it has an autopilot. Right under it, you'll see 009 degrees, right under the left-hand screen. That's called an autopilot. And the autopilot, you set it and it will go where you want it to go. You just have to put the coordinates of which state you want to go in, and it's got all of United States and Canada and Mexico in it. So you can go anywhere. And if you want to go to Europe, you'll have to drop the Europe GPS in it. Okay. And that autopilot will take wherever the GPS tells it to go. So autopilot's important because what happens is then you can actually relax and just touch the steering wheel now and then to correct it if it's like drifting a little bit, but really, or mostly you don't have to correct it because it's automatic and it's working with a satellite. When you have to touch it is if you see a log, you see some trees fall in bad storms and they start to float in the river or the waterway. And if you hit a tree, you'll damage your boat. You're not going to sink, but you're going to have $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 worth of damage, and even more sometimes. So remember that when you're underway, that means you're moving. Underway is you're going somewhere. When you're underway, the assistant, the pilot, the captain is taking care of the boat and where it's going and all that. The first mate has a pair of binoculars and you're looking at the water, because there are things in the water that are floating because of storms, because of people dropping stuff, and if you hit it, that's damage. So everybody is keeping a good look on what's going on. Here's another. Now you see 10 degrees. Before you saw 009 degrees, now it's 010. So obviously it changed a little bit. It's a different time, and that's a better picture of the thing. Now on the left hand side, you've got some dials and everything like that. Those have to do with weather, this, that, and the other. It'll give you all that information. This is the right-hand screen. You see, now you're looking at the back of the boat. It's called the rear view camera. That's on. This also can give you the depth of the water and all kinds of information about wind and weather information and all kinds of stuff you can get on this panel. But right now on this panel, you can change it. It's touchscreen. All of it is touchscreen. You can change this to say, I want to see the back of the boat. Why do you want to see the back of the boat? When you're docking and you're going back, you need to see the back of the boat because it's a big boat and you don't want to bang into something. This is called a bow thruster. This is so important on a big boat because the problem is it's not like driving a truck. It's bigger than a truck because a big truck is 40 feet. This is 52 feet. So it's 12 feet or 24% bigger than a truck. But what's important here is that the bottom of the boat is water. A truck is hard to drive, but the bottom of the boat is land. It's stable, whereas the water is moving. So if you don't have a bow thruster, your boat has a tendency to go on its own. When you're in neutral, it will be pushed this way, that way due to tide and current and wind. So you need a bow thruster, or you use your throttle forward, reverse to angle the boat. Because if you press forward right, it'll go left. If you press forward left, it'll go right. And if you press reverse left, it'll go right. And if you press reverse right, it'll go left. So you have to know that, but a bow thruster helps you. Now, you see, a bow thruster helps you a lot. In fact, no problems with a bow thruster. But if you want to really, really have a boat that a 10-year-old can dock, a 50-foot boat, I can train a 10-year-old to dock this boat only if I have a bow thruster and a stern thruster. Bow is the front of the boat, stern is the back of the boat. So the bow goes left, right with the bow thruster. Stern goes left, right with the stern thruster. If I have a bow and a stern thruster and a joystick, joystick means I can turn it and the boat can turn. I can adjust it forward, backwards, angle. Now it becomes like a video game. And 10-year-olds play video games very well. So now I'm putting in a stern thruster and I'm putting in a joystick on this boat. So it's going to be like superb. That's the front of the boat now. You're looking at a different angle. There's a lot of seating. In the front where the captain sits, there's 2 other seats on either side. This is a refrigerator. This is a refrigerator on the right, freezer on the left. And on top, there's a metal thing. That is the tap. You put it up and it clicks shut. And that is the tap. You've got water and there's a sink over there. Now on top in the middle of this, or slightly to the right of the middle, there's a necklace with a piece of equipment hanging from it. That is a remote control Bluetooth wireless autopilot that you wear on your neck. So you can be anywhere on the boat and you can adjust its attitude. I mean, this is a lot of fun. And you can have anything, okay? Always remember, you might not want a boat, but you can have anything. Now, this is looking at the 3 seats are in front. You now see the sink with the tap folded down. You see the neck lanyard with the little autopilot thing. But now you see the couch on the left and the L-shaped couch on the right. All of this is for guests, friends. We can all sit. We can have drinks. We can eat. We've got a little, it's called a wet bar. We've got a little bar. Okay? We can all have fun and it's all glass. So it's good. Look outside, have a good time. And you see, way on top, you can see a little bit of a square. That's the sunroof that opens right up if you want it to open up. And in the back, you have this glass too. So it's a lot of glass. I like this because it's very, very nice. This is another angle of the boat. And here you see in the front left, there is a window that opens, see? So you can open it and it's got a screen, and this side on the right, you have the same screen and opening. So you have cross ventilation. If you don't want to use the air conditioning, it's not a very hot day, but there's a nice breeze. You can have a good time over there. This is the cockpit. Usually this area is only used for coming and going from the boat, or it's used to casually sit down, but it gets windy. If it's raining, if it's too cold, if it's too hot, you cannot really sit outside there. But this whole area has its own air conditioning. It's all glassed in. It's hard top. It's another living space. Tiff has taken control of this space because we're going to convert this into an office. She says, that's my office. I said, that's our office. So we're going to make this our office with screens, computers, everything. So we are not just enjoying our boat. We can function. I can do my meetings with you. I can do other business. I can do meetings with Europe. I just sponsored a person in Poland. So now I start doing meetings for Poland. I start doing meetings for, doing meetings for Europe and Canada and all of that stuff. I can really make this boat my office and my living space. Here's this large screen TV that we're going to take off. Why? I'm going to change all the 5 TVs that are on the boat and put brand new high definition UHD smart TVs. These are good flat screen TVs, but they're not smart TVs. They're not high definition, ultra high definition. I'm going to take all 4 TVs out and put brand new TVs in, and they're all going to be bigger. So it's going to be like totally fantastic. All of that will be done by the end of April. We're taking possession of this boat on the 5th of May, but we've already transacted everything, and we're going through what's called a survey. That means I have my person go and take this boat out of the water and look at it and investigate every functioning item on this boat to give it a clean certificate. So here's the office. This is going to be our office. Now, on the right side of that couch, there's a door. That's the door you enter the boat in. From the back, it has a swim platform. So you enter the boat from there. In the front of this, there's a door on your left, a door on your right. You can go on the side of the boat to the front of the boat where the anchor is, or you've got 2 pads in the front where you can relax and read a book. It's just fantastic. I'll show you. Maybe we got a picture of that. Here's the living room. You come down from that cockpit, and this is the living room. This is huge. It does not look huge. This is huge. And the 2 chairs on the right, they have places. Every place has places for glasses because the boat moves. Even when it's stationary, it moves because of wind, water, it moves. It's got like a gentle movement. So everything has holes. So you cannot put a glass on a flat piece of anything. It'll just slide off. So you see the 2 holes in the middle of these 2 chairs on the right. That's for glass or cups. These 2 chairs open up electronically and become a bed. So there's a TV on the left. You sit on those chairs, you put your legs out, you relax, and you can watch TV, or you can go online, or you can do whatever. It's just fantastic living area, just fantastic. On the left side of those 3 steps coming down is steps going down. That's the master bedroom. Okay. You don't call it a bedroom on a boat. You don't. You call it a stateroom. Remember that. I'm teaching you all these things so that when you talk to people, you can impress them. You know what's going on. It's called a stateroom. There's no bedroom. It's a stateroom. There's no bathroom. It's a head. The cockpit is actually the area in the back of the boat. The back of the boat is called aft, AFT. The front of the boat is called bow, BOUGH. And the end of the boat is called the transom, TRANSOM. So just a little, I'll quiz you on this again. Here's another angle of the living room. And there you got the dining room. You've got a table, a round table with 4 chairs. And on the right, you've got the galley, not the kitchen, the galley. Isn't this great education? There's the TV. That TV is also going to come out, the flat screen TV, where you can sit on those 2 chairs and relax and watch the TV because the legs open up and the back goes back. But this one, we're going to have like this gigantic TV. It's going to be like a 65-inch beauty. This is the stereo and the music and all of that stuff. I'm going to change that too, because I want it all like fantastic. These Yamaha speakers, I'm going to throw them in the garbage. I'm going to have Bose. They are superb. So when somebody comes and listens to music, and we can have the music soft, it can play beautiful. Every note you can hear, but you can have a conversation. It's not like, oh, it's going to be great. Here's another angle of those 2 chairs. I love those chairs. And Tiff sat on those chairs and decided she wants this boat. She didn't buy the boat for the boat. She bought the boat for the chair, that chair. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Here's another angle. There's the dining room. I mean, you have a dining room. Come on. This is big stuff. Here's the galley. You've got a full-size stainless steel refrigerator and freezer. You've got a microwave oven with a convection feature on it. But under the oven, you've got 4 drawers. We're going to put a regular oven there. And on the bottom of this screen, you cannot see it, is a trash compactor. That means you put garbage and it compacts it and compacts it. We're going to take that trash compactor out and put a washing machine, a dishwasher there, so that we're not going to do dishes. And the reason I can do dishes, Tiff can do dishes. You go, why can't you wash? You got a double sink, like a full size, like a kitchen. The reason is we're going to be working. And if we're not working, we're going to enjoy. We don't want to do dishes. You can do that too one day. You don't want to do something, you don't have to do it. You can just spend the money to get it done. And we're going to spend the money to buy a brand new dishwasher and insert it and take that trash compactor. We don't need to compact trash. So here's the trash compactor on your right, the stainless steel. We'll take it out. Now there's a box on the right-hand side on the counter. You can see a rectangular box. That is called a housing area for a coffee machine and a blender. So that's going to be where the coffee machine and the blender is going to be. And in the front, dead center, is a three burner electric cooktop stove. That's the master stateroom. When you walk downstairs from the back of the boat, you go downstairs, that's a master stateroom. That's a queen size bed. That's not small. It's really fantastic. We were there and we said, man, this is like a home. This is not, cramping. The height of the boat is 6'5". So you have to be very tall to have to bend down in this boat. It's beautiful. There's the TV that's coming out. New TV is going in. That's the shower on the left. It has a closure, so it's an independent shower. It's not part of the bathroom. The shower is on the right. The left has the toilet and the sink. Two separate entities. So somebody can take a shower and somebody can use the bathroom, and you don't have to. It's really good. It's designed very well. On the right side, there's actually a couch, a seating area. And then you've got a lot of storage. This right-hand side on the right of the bed is a hanging locker where you can hang your suits. And on this side, on the left, is another one of those where you can hang dresses and pants and everything. So you can be fully clothed and other things. Even the bottom, I'll show you. Let's go back. Oh, okay, that doesn't work. Under the sheet, there are two big drawers, huge. They're like 1.5 feet by 2 feet each. And when you pull it, it's half the size of the bed. You can store your sheets and your pillowcases and towels and everything under the bed. A lot of room. There's the shower, the sink, and the toilet for the guest bedroom. This is for the guest bedroom. You see the shower closes completely. You can have a full shower. It's fantastic. This is almost like being on a ship. In fact, some of the ships, the cabins are smaller than my stateroom. Okay, so this is better because you own it. So here's another look: the toilet, the sink, and then on the right is the shower that closes, completely closes, and it's waterproof so that there's no dripping of water going into the main area. These are all important. See here, there's a little tub. So you can actually sit in the tub and have like a good time soaking in the tub. It's not a full-size tub, but you can sit in the tub. All for a personal boat. This is the guest stateroom. A full queen size it's called an island berth. You can walk around it. It also has place for you to keep your clothes and your shoes and underneath it also has two full drawers that open up and you can store stuff. Fantastic living space. Look at the top. It's all man-made leather. The whole ceiling of all the boat is man-made leather. So it does not require maintenance, but it looks absolutely gorgeous. And it's all wood and man-made leather. It's just beautiful. I mean, I can't say enough. And I want to tell you something. Not 1 minute do I want you to think that acha mere se nahi hoga. Don't do that. Don't do that. आपसे जरूर होगा, लेकिन आपको मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी और आपको काम जबरदस्त करनी पड़ेगी. That's not a negotiating factor. Okay, लेकिन होगा जरूर. There's the bathroom of this is called the half bath. This is not a half bath. It's called a day head. Day head means that it doesn't belong to the staterooms. It belongs to people who are visiting, who are in the living room. They want to use the bathroom. This is their bathroom. This is their head. It's got a toilet and a sink, no shower. It's called a day head. So there's the head that belongs to the suite, the staterooms, and then this head belongs to the living area, which is good because you don't want people who are visiting you to go into the bedroom, right? So that's good. This is the best friend. This is my best friend. If you own a boat like this, this will be your best friend. You say, but I like all the other stuff. No, man. This is the 20 kilowatt generator that will power everything. You don't have this, you got nothing. You just got sexy. You'll sweat, you'll freeze, you won't have any refrigeration, you won't have any hot water, nothing. So this is my best friend. It's a 20 kilowatt generator. That is a power. This boat can take a 12 kilowatt generator. So the owner of this boat said, I don't want a 12 kilo, I want a big one. And I'm happy because now I have a real big generator too. These are Diamond Performance engines by Cummins Diesel. Cummins is literally the Rolls-Royce of diesel engines. Cummins and Caterpillar are the two top diesel engines. And then there's MAN and Volvo and couple of other different diesels. Then they're all good. You cannot exist in business without producing a proper product. Okay, today with the competition, it's global. You cannot produce a substandard product. You will go out of business. But this is the top. Cummins and Caterpillar. You can ask people in the Air Force, you can ask people in the military, you can ask people in the police, you can ask people anywhere in government, what diesel are you going to put in your trucks or your tanks? Cummins or Caterpillar? These are the two big ones. And so I have two Cummins diesels. Each of them has 450 horsepower. That's 900 horsepower for this boat to move this boat. This boat weighs dry, that means without anything in it, 50,000 pounds, which is approximately, I would say, 30,000 kilos. Okay. So to move this 30,000 kilos, we have 900 horses, and this big mother of a boat can move at 22 miles an hour. That's like moving your house at 22 miles an hour. Okay. That's a great speed. Now, will we go at 22 miles an hour? No. And the reason is very simple. The reason why we don't go 22 miles an hour is at 22 miles an hour, you're going to burn 26 gallons of diesel in 1 hour. So if you take a 10-hour ride, you'll burn 260 gallons of diesel. And diesel is $3 a gallon. So you're going to spend more than $800 on just diesel, on fuel. So you don't run a boat this size, and this is a luxury boat. This is not a speed boat. So you don't run a boat at 22 miles an hour. So you say, so why do you need the power? Very simple. A storm on the water can materialize without notice. All the weather forecast, everything electronic, everybody is saying everything is good. The water is going to be like glass. The weather is going to be fantastic. And suddenly 45 minutes out to sea, you see these black clouds coming from nowhere. And you're like, arey. And you don't want to be on the water because you're not a Navy ship. You're a bloody pleasure boat. So what you do is you turn around, and that's when you do 22 miles an hour. It's called outrunning a storm. When you outrun a storm, you do 22 miles an hour because you don't care about the diesel and the money. You just want to get away from the storm. But if you're not having a storm, which is most of the time, because most of the time the forecast is correct and everything is good, then you travel from point A to point B at 9 or 10 knots, which is 10 to 12 miles an hour. You travel nice and easy, and you enjoy the scenery, and you enjoy the traveling. The boat makes traveling pleasurable. Usually travel is a pain. Yeah, let's get there. Let's get there. Yeah, I wish I could just press a button and not have to fly 16 and a half hours to go to India. I just want to get there. But on a boat, you love the travel. So you go at 9 to 10 knots. At 9 to 10 knots, at 18 knots, you're burning 26 gallons. But at 9 to 10 knots, you burn just 3 gallons. So you get actually, for $3, you can get 2 miles on the water, which is very cheap for a boat this size. That's my tender. I love it. You see, you can seat 3 people with the driver and in the front, and then it's got a covering and it's got GPS. You know, tenders don't have GPS. They don't, because you're in the harbor, you're just saying, acha udhar jayenge. But you know, in a new harbor, sometimes you get lost. You say, mera boat kidhar hai? Kyunki there are 300 boats and they're all white mostly. So they say, yaar, mere boat kahan hai? You put the GPS on. Fantastic. So I hope you enjoyed this. This is all I have to show you for the sharing of the dream. The dream. It's all about the dream. Now, you know, we're still talking about buying a house. We haven't done that yet. We're still talking about all kinds of different things. We haven't done that yet. But guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, this is a little boy in India who grew up in a military family, who had a dream, and he chased it. That's all.
Fantastic, Leo. No words. We can see the great passion behind that, and the way you were explaining it was amazing. I think you made it very short. If time permits, you might talk another 2-3 hours about it, right?
Easy. In fact, you know, in a few weeks we're going to go, because I'm in the process of selecting somebody to survey the boat. So they'll take it out of the water and survey it, like literally with a fine-tooth comb. They will literally check everything that functions on the boat. So we're going to fly there, and then we're going to go on what's called a sea trial with the owner, the ex-owner of the boat, and the captain, and then Tiff and me. We're going to test the boat all day long on the water. We're going to turn all the air conditioning on high. We're going to turn all the heat on high. We're going to turn everything on. We're going to use everything and for a length of time, not just for a little bit, so that we see it functioning properly. We're going to run the water. We're going to do everything, every faucet. I want to know if the water is coming out right. I'm going to flush the toilet 10 times to see if it's running right. Everything. That's called a sea trial. So we're going to do that. It's going to be exciting. I'm going to drive the boat, which is always exciting. And when it's taken out of the water, we're going to install a stern thruster, the joystick, and I forgot to tell you, there's so much to talk about. AIS. AIS is automatic image service. So your boat is on other people's radar, and other people's boat is on your radar. So small boats don't have AIS. It's only for ships. But I'm installing an AIS in this boat, so I know where everything is and they know where I am. So no problems. So it's very exciting. It's also a big learning experience, but of course we are all ready to learn, I hope.
Fantastic, Leo. Mesmerizing dream building.
It's all there for you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
My
Leo,
pleasure.
जिम भी बना लेना अंदर, जिम्नेशियम.
Oh yes, we're going to we're going to put a elliptical machine. You know, an aerobic elliptical machine. So that's going to be there. Yes, I forgot to tell you. There's a few things I haven't told you because, you know, like it's 12:30 here, which is 10. It's 10 o'clock there.
So we all are waiting to come here now.
थोड़ा बाद में बताएंगे ना.
Yeah, we will have another session on this because थोड़ा और ज़्यादा technical details लेने हैं.
When after May 5th, we are taking possession. After that, the first 5 sessions, I'm going to broadcast from 5 different areas on the boat. So you including, maybe I'll do 8 different areas from the bathroom. Of course, I won't be using it, but I can broadcast from the bathroom. No, I'm just kidding. But 5 different areas, I mean, so you get a good feeling of the boat, because I want you to experience, not for you to buy a boat, but if you want a boat, yes, but for you to understand how important it is for you to like realize a dream. And understand one thing, you all understand how long I sold the boat last year. I've been without a boat for a while. I bought the boat very late in life, even though I wanted a boat when I was a young man. Guess what? Sometimes dreams take a long time. It's okay. It's okay. Don't lose heart. And it takes a while. I mean, I'm going to be 70 years old this July, and I feel like a 17-year-old boy. That's what dreams do for you. They charge you up. Wow. I really feel like a teenager. Sanga Sharad.
It's chase the dream and have it. That's what we have understood today.
लियो, आपसे पहले सी ट्रायल का तो एक्सपीरियंस मैंने ले लिया है.
हाँ,
गिरी
तो नेवी आदमी है, लेकिन ये सी ट्रायल अलग है. ये मेरा है. ये नाव मेरा है. It's mine, baby. It's fantastic.
Thanks a lot, Leo. Aj we will have a sleepless night today. No doubt about it.
I'm making Crown ambassadors jealous. People are getting jealous. I mean, in a nice way. They're like, oh man, you know, which is good, We all feed off of each other's excitement, right? If you're positive. If you're negative, you don't like when somebody succeeds. I love when somebody succeeds. And I hope you succeed. And I can one day look at you and say, wow, yes, you know, we had a part to play. Okay? So sleepless nights, turn it into dreamful days.
Fantastic, Leo. You, what we can call, you made our day. No, you made our day and night. So thank you very much. And it was like we were all missing you since last 2 weeks. And it was worth it. Thank you so much. Thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you, Leo.
Yeah. And good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.